I'm 6 City News Senior Business Editor Mike Eppel. Big banks and record earnings kind of go hand in hand recently, and the Royal Bank was in that category in its first quarter of the fiscal year, reporting results today. The topped estimates at $3.5 billion in profit, as the RBC saw strength in pretty much all of its businesses, whether it was personal or commercial banking. They did have a couple of concerns on the growth forecast right now, whether it is the risk of coronavirus potentially spreading further than it already has, or specifically, more domestically, the shutdown of Canada's rail lines through the blockades, and as well just overall Canadian consumer spending trends. So the bank raising its dividend to shareholders, the company's stock price was on the rise today. Meantime, another big Canadian bank next week could be announcing some job cuts. The Globe and Mail reporting today that the Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce is looking to streamline some of its operations, a further shift to digital, and as well the executive ranks could be cutting up to 2,000 jobs, or about 4% of the workforce, to reduce costs. We'll get the details on that potentially next week when the CIBC reports quarterly earnings. Well, Canadian consumers weren't spending quite as much in the holidays. For 2019, we got the December retail spending results from StatsCan today. And for much of last year, it was very much a flat performance for the retail sector. Of course, we saw many bricks and mortar stores close down, and the shift to e-commerce was certainly evident, with spending on e-commerce up more than 30% year over year in December. Still in all, auto sales were weak, and the numbers point to a Canadian consumer that might be stretched a little bit when it comes to debt loads, and that is something the Bank of Canada has been watching quite closely as well for interest rate policy. And the stock market rally in general ran out of steam today. The TSX came into Friday's trade at a record high, but couldn't quite continue that. Too much, again, worry about a potential hit to the economy near term. We saw tech stocks take a bit of a tumble on Wall Street. From the 6 City Newsroom, I'm Mike Eppel for City News.